Welcome to the channel. Today we're going big. 3,500 points worth of big is Death Guard versus Grey Knights. Right, so 3,500 points, battle map from urbanmats.com. These are 3D printed terrain pieces. These bits you can't get anymore. And at 3,500 points, we're not doing any of the match play thingy bobs and the things. The missions were decided to go for a custom mission because it's big. We need to keep it very simple. So there's 5 objectives. There's 3 running down the middle and 1 in each deployment zone. We're going lengthways. We're going lengthways, people. Hammer and anvil deployment. And the way it's going to work is you get a point for each objective that you control at the end of your turn. So it's going to be a low point scoring game, but each point will be precious. A point for every objective you control at the end of your turn, and then at the very end of the game, each of these objectives will be worth D3 points each. But I have played quite a few 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 point games of Warhammer 40k 10th edition. And the thing about this edition in particular is it could be absolutely brutal. There's been very few games which are above 3,000 points that I've played where there's mixed forces left at the end and we're fighting over the last few objectives. Typically, at 3,000 plus points, someone's going to be pooned by turn 3. And we welcome back Chewie. Say hi, Chewie.
Hi, Chewie.
Are you going to be pooned by the end of turn 3?
Yes, it's Death Guard against Grey Knights.
You did this to yourself. You said, can I play a big game?
Yes.
And I said, well, of course, let's play the big one. I love the big games.
I like big games, yeah.
Why did you want to do the really big game?
Because it's been a while. I kind of wanted to show off what I have so far and Boulder Knight. And just wanted to play a big game because it's all been like and a narrative one as well. Because I'm getting a bit tired of the whole kind of objective action ones, but hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah, you do know Death Guard are a little bit broken around
Yeah,
right now.
You have. Yes, I did play them when they came out against you, and it was a close one actually. 10 points difference.
It was.
Spoilers alert, too late.
Yeah.
But I like a challenge and I like a good game, even though I lose. It's all about the playing and having fun, and I quite.
Well, there was a period back about 6 months ago where you were beating me.
Yes.
But Death Guard are. I mentioned they're a bit broken?
They are a bit broken, yes.
Let's check out the things.
I would.
Chewie?
Yes.
Just to explain just sort of how broken things are, right? Normally when you add a character to a thing, it gives the thing a thing.
Yes.
Yes, like Lance or Sustained or something. Mm-hmm. But when you add this thing to them, it gives them 2 things. It gives them Lance and Sustained. And most of their weapons are already lethal anyway. So in melee, so they've got Lance, Lethal, Sustained, with a Lord of Contagion attached to them, 3 rules. And also there's the Contagion thing. So when you're in melee, your strength and your toughness and your armor save goes down as well. And the Lord of Contagion, he gets up again on a 2 on 3 wounds remaining. So there's like 5 rules there that stack and stack and stack with the Death Guard. I don't know what they were smoking when they came up with the Death Guard Codex, but as a Death Guard player, I love it. They were smoking the stinky compost.
Yes.
So this is just under 3,500 points worth of Death Guard. And this is Mortarion's Anvil Detachment. What does all that mean? Well, Death Guard have contagions. I mentioned that. If you get within contagion range, your toughness goes down, your armor save goes down, and Mortarion's Anvil allows me to point at 3 units more than 12 inches away from my whole army and put them in contagion range as well. So I can do stuff from range. The thing about Mortarion's Anvil, though, is all the stratagems only affect the vehicles. So I brought all the vehicles. I brought triple crawlers, triple haulers, triple spurty drones, double heavy blight launcher drones, double hell brutes and double rhinos. And there's stratagems that allow me to advance with the vehicles and still shoot. There's stratagems that allow me to move straight through ruins and walls as if they weren't there. There's stratagems for vehicles if you deep strike in, for example, to make the deep strike charge 2 inches longer. Stratagems for vehicles all over the place, but mainly it's about bringing spreading the contagion out. So if the Grey Knights get close, they're going to be in contagion range, and if they stay away, they're going to be in contagion range. And leading the charge is a demon Primarch Mortarion. You told me you were bringing Grey Knights, so I had to bring something for you worthy of their attention. demon Primarch Mortarion. Now, all the Primarchs, good ones, bad ones, they all have 3 abilities which they can pick one of per turn. And his abilities allow for some movement shenanigans, allow for some shooting shenanigans, or allow for punchy back shenanigans. And you can do it on him as well. So if he dies and he hasn't had a chance to swing on a 2-up, he gets to swing. And his stats are a lot better now. And he has Deep Strike now. So I brought you a Demon Primarch to kill. I also brought you a lovely Demon Prince to kill. And this model, clearly the best painted model in my entire army, is gorgeously painted by Den of Imagination Painting Studios. And I love the wings and things. Also, this model is created by Den of Imagination Painting Studios because they create miniatures as well. So check them out. Best painting service in the Sol system. Demon Prince of Wings, his abilities are all about battle shocks and things, so I'm not sure it'll come off, but it gives me additional movement in what would normally be a slow foot-bound army. With a lot of virulence here, he's got tremulous emissions. So his party piece is he points at an enemy unit within 30 inches in line of sight, and I can my entire army rerolls hit rolls of 1 against the unit that he points at, and if it's a blast weapon, it rerolls all hits against the unit that he points at. And with his enhancement, he gets lone op so long as he stays within 3 inches of a vehicle, and the vehicles within 3 inches of him can also reroll wound rolls of 1 so long as they can see the target. Basically, vehicles close to him, reroll hit rolls of 1, reroll wound rolls of 1. He runs around with them, points at things, points the finger of doom. We talked about the Lord of Contagion with a brick of 10 Blightlord Terminators. Their job is to just gum up the middle of the board, just to push forward and say, look, here's a lot of toughness 7 things that you need to get through. While Mortarion and a Demon Prince jumps around all over the place. All the vehicles are going to do vehicle things. Poxwalkers, because I had points left over. And then over here, we have 10 Plague Marines with a Malignant Plaguecaster jumping out of a Rhino ×2. In the Plague Marine slot, there is 3 Plasma Guns, 2 Blight Launchers, 2 Heavy Plague Weapons. And what happens with the Malignant Plaguecaster is he gives them more sustained hits. I think if you're in contagion range, and of course if you're in contagion range, that means your toughness and your armor goes down, and lots of their weapons, their shooty weapons or their close combat weapons are lethal. So in close combat, for example, he gives sustained plus lethal. So sustained lethal. And then the Rhino has the fire support rule, which is if they jump out of a Rhino and the Rhino shoots at a target, if they shoot at the same target, they can reroll all wounds against the same target because they're being helped by the fire support. The Plague Marines, I think, are probably the best thing in the book. Standard battle line troops that are very good at shooting and also very good in close combat as well. And there's loads of different ways you can add characters to them. You can put the Fight First character in here. You can put the Critical Hits character in here. The Noxious Blightbringer, the Foul Blightspawn. There isn't really... probably the Plague Surgeon doesn't do much. But apart from that, there isn't really very many bad characters that you can add to Plague Marines to make them even better doing what they do. So yeah, they'll be rocking around in a Rhino, lots of vehicles all over the place, blocking up the central table and just shelling the Grey Knights from a lot. I don't even need to shell them from afar. In close combat, I'm going to be mean as well. The Blight Lords are going to be mean. The Demon Prince is going to be mean. That's a Demon Primarch. Hellbrutes are going to be mean in close combat. This is a big, stinky bucket ball of pain rolling straight towards the Imperial lines, and I love it. Chewie,
yeah,
they can get even more busted though. Imagine triple Lords.
No, not
virulence,
even more busted. Even
more so.
Wow.
And it just gets worse. So this is a friendly Death Guard list. Right, the Grey Knights.
Yes, the shiny Dettol smelling Grey Knights instead of the stinky Death Guard. Yes.
Select bang, and it's gone.
It is gone, hopefully, yes.
With a Knight Errant backing them up. So Grey Knights have the uppy downy rule.
Yes.
Is it 3 or 4 units?
Three, depending on the points. So it would be 3 units.
3 units you can pick back up, put back down again.
Yeah.
And what detachment are you bringing? Because they've got more than one now.
Yeah, well, I'm using the most recent, which is the Warpbane Task Force. It's quite wordy,
Right.
The whole detachment rule. But the best way I can describe it is there's areas of the battlefield that are classed as hallowed ground.
Yes.
And within this hallowed ground, units within that hallowed ground can re-roll hit rolls of 1.
Right.
Purifying squad, the purifier squads, the ones with the white helmets, can re-roll all their hits.
Okay.
So the areas of battlefield are my deployment zone.
Yes.
This class is hallowed. If I control at least half of the objective markers in no man's land,
yes,
hallowed, that's hallowed. And purifier squads in themselves are hallowed ground.
Hallowed. Right. So basically, it makes your army more punchy, more shooty, because you're re-rolling hit rolls of 1, and purifiers are re-rolling all the hits all the time because they're hallowed all the time.
Yes.
So offense goes up. Is that for shooting and close combat?
Shooting and close combat, yes.
Okay. So yeah,
and then stratagems where you can re-roll. If you're purifiers, you can re-roll wound rolls, but purifiers you can re-roll all wounds.
And how many units of purifiers have you brought?
I've got 2, but there's another one on the way.
So what is this? A squad over here of 5 with the white helmets, and a squad of 10.
Yeah.
So if you brought a squad of 10, that means Crow's coming along as well.
There's Crow,
There's Castellan Crow with the old sword. You know how that demon sword works, right, in the lore?
To be honest with you, no. Go on.
Okay, so in the lore, he's carrying around a demon sword with him, and he can't put it. He won't. It corrupts anyone. It calls people from a long way away. They can't put it in a vault. They can't put it in the bank account. They can't put it on a distant planet or anything like that, because the sword will corrupt and will pull people towards them like Drachnian, and then empires will fall, star systems will shatter. So it's like the One Ring. It's like the Ring of Power. So the only person, the safest place for it is for Crow to carry it on him all the time.
Yeah.
And like the One Ring of Power, it's whispering to him all the time, like, Frodo, I love you, Frodo.
But he's a bit taller than a hobbit.
But he's a bit taller than a hobbit, and he's like, no.
And he's got not as hairy feet, not that I know.
No, Gollum. Yeah, exactly. He might have slightly hairy feet, who knows? I mean, it's not a crime to have hairy feet. Some of us have hairy feet, okay?
Yes, it's all right.
Who told you?
I'm one of those.
So you've got Crow and some purifiers. What else you got?
Got 3 Dreadnoughts.
Yes.
I'm not going to use any as a Grandmaster because their rules only once per battle. So they can advance and charge when they fall back and stuff like that. So
yeah, Dreadnoughts, advance, fall back, shoot, charge. They can never be locked, basically.
No. So that's what I've got. Then they've got demon hammers and heavy side cannons and mixture of weapons there.
Okay.
Then I've got one squad of paladins.
Paladins with a banner, right.
Banner, so obviously objective, one's the objective control, and they've got the bodyguard rule.
Okay.
So -1 to wound, and they hit on 2s.
Do they?
Hitting and in melee and shooting.
Who's going to go with the paladins?
That's going to be Drago.
Drago.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a slight accident. He lost his banner. Good old Finecast.
I think it's the first time in the history of 40k ever where Drago's banner smashed up, fell off.
Well, it's just probably been purged and burnt and all sorts.
Drago's a beast. He's also his sword, anti-demon 2+.
2+,
sword.
strength 8, -4, 3 damage.
And then with the paladins, -1 to wound if the strength of the thing is higher than the thing.
Yeah.
And also he's got +3 on his charge or something?
Yeah, +3 once per battle. Yeah, and he's got the mortal wounds, feel no pain, mortal wounds.
Nice. So basically he's absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I've got 2 normal Terminator squads, one with an apothecary. They're going to they give lethals on the charge.
Yes.
They're going to be joined by librarians who've got Vortex of Doom.
I love Vortex of Doom.
It is a really nice psychic power.
It's a scary psychic power.
I've been rolling quite hot on that, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 6s and stuff. It's good fun.
You've said it now. That means you've
probably going to roll once. It's fine and die.
Yeah, that's it.
No, but they feel no pain to psychic attack. So if I do roll a 1, they'll feel no pain.
Okay.
So that's what I learned in the last game. I had a couple of comments in the last game that sort of put me on the right track. So thank you, commenters.
Yes.
So, and then I've got interceptors.
Right. They move, shoot, move, right?
Move, shoot, move. Yeah, and then you've got Persia Gators, which I've not used before.
Right.
They're going to be in the Razorback. The Razorback gives the fire support rule.
Same as my fire support rule.
Yes.
Yeah, and these guys can fire around corners as well.
They can fire as long as another unit can see.
Yeah.
And gives the indirect fire. So, and then I've got a Venerable Dreadnought, Stumpy, I'm going to call it.
Right.
Because it looks tiny.
It's very tiny. When you put them, 1 minute, let's do this. Look, you put that next to them.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
You get a Dreadnought putting his hand out, going no.
Yeah.
So
bite my kneecaps off.
Okay, so but he gives the rerolled ones to hit and to wound.
Does he?
Yes.
Okay. Reroll to hit and to wound.
Yes.
So he's sort of walking up with the dudes.
Yeah.
And then we've got some champions with some normal strike squads.
Yeah, so Brotherhood champions, actually, they're really quite cool. They give the fight first ability.
Right.
So, and it's probably best to put them with the strike squad, not the Purgators, because they're not going to really strike out anything. But there's 3 attached enhancements I'm giving.
Right.
So he's going to have to get my book out because it's all a bit wordy.
Right.
So the one with the cape, he's going to have the Radiant Champion, which gives him the precision ability.
Okay, cool.
And if he's in hallowed ground and he scores a wound and suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to any normal damage.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that one. And then the other one, which is an official...
Other champion, yeah.
Other champion, he's going to have the Requillery. It looks like Mandalorian in my head. He gives +3 objective markers.
Okay.
Objective. +3 to his objective.
To his OC.
To his OC, yeah.
So he's got a good OC.
He's got 4.
The other one's got precision. Any more enhancements you've got anywhere else?
The file of the Abyss.
Okay.
Which is going to be for him.
Right.
Without the storm bulbs, that gives him the stealth.
Stealth.
So we're going to...
one of the teams is going to have stealth jumping
and then
around.
pick up models.
And that's got an apothecary in as well.
Yes.
Okay. I like it. So you're going to be jumping around all over the place.
Yeah.
And because anything with the deep strike can go back up into strategic reserve, and pretty much everything here has got deep strike except for the things except for the knight and the thing and you got knight errant. If it shoots at the closest possible target, it's got +1 to hit, so it can be hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
And its weapon, the thermal lance, is mean, absolutely mean in melt range.
I'm going to thank Adam for lending me that one. That's not my paint job. So.
Thank you, Adam. And then lots of Grey Knights zipping around all over the place with guns and swords and things. But it's a highly elite army, Grey Knights. Highly elite army. What can they do against such reckless hate? The reckless hate of the Death Guard. At least all of them have a 2-up save. Even the little fellas on foot have 2-up saves. But the thing about them is they're still Space Marines. They're still toughness 4 with 2 wounds. And they'll die to a stinky breeze. And so we're deployed for this 3,500 point custom mission. This hallowed ground must be defended by the Grey Knights, pushing into this battle grid with the hallowed ground rule. Their deployment zone will be hallowed ground. Rerolling hit rolls of 1 back here, unless they're purifiers, and they've kept a couple of units in reserve. There's a Dread Knight that's going to be deep striking in, and Kaldor Drago, the Supreme Grandmaster, is going to be deep striking in from turn 2 onwards. Of course, they also have the rule where they can be picked up at the end of the Death Guard turn and dropped back in again. And the Death Guard, I've lined everything up, and because Chewie put Drago in reserve, I put Mortarion in reserve.
Coward.
I thought it would be, like our heroes will only get to the battle grid a little bit later. After everything's set up, they're arriving late to the party. We tweaked the 3 central objectives a little bit as well. So one's closer to that end, one's closer to this end. That one's right in the middle. And we're set up and ready to go. But who's got first turn? After you, sir. Do you want first turn?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's the 6th, though. You have first turn, yeah. So the Grey Knights have the initiative and move forward into the compound. This Dread Knight securing this objective over here. And strike squads, well, they sanctify objectives, so this one is now sticky. So their Grey Knights control 2 objectives at the end of their turn. And remember, each objective will be worth a point at the end of the turn, and then D3 at the end of the battle. So as it's only the first turn, there's still a wall of Grey Knights in the backfield with their guns out of line of sight and range for now. So the amount of firepower that is going to come rippling out will be reduced. It's only turn 1. But we're going to start the shooting phase on this flank with the Storm Spear or Rocket Pod or ricocheting down into this drone over here. Hitting on 2s. It's the closest eligible. Everything hits.
Yeah.
It's tough though. You need 5s to wound.
Nope.
And you don't wound. So we're on to the Dread Knight, shooting at the same drone with the heavy side cannon, hitting on 3s. And you're re-rolling 1s because of...
This Halogrown, you got Purified Squad behind.
Nice, I like the synergy there, that's good.
Okay.
4 hits. Strength 10.
Strength 10.
Toughness 9. 3s to wound.
Okay.
2 wounds.
-2.
5 of them vulnerable saves. That drone takes 6 damage.
Right, so Gatling.
Yes.
Re-rolling the 1s.
Yes. Yeah, re-rolling 1s with sustained at strength 6. Wounds on 5s. There's a lot of wounds. With 3-up saves, that drone goes down to 2 wounds remaining. Unfortunately, there's no more guns in line of sight and range that can take those last 2 wounds of this drone on this flank. So we're coming across to the other flank, where the other Dread Knight is aiming at this drone, trying to take away some of the speed from the Death Guard army. Getting on 3s. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds this time.
-2.
Takes 6 damage. Gatling gun goes brr, re-rolling 1s because you put the Dreadnought next to it.
Yeah.
A bit of sustained and 5s to wound. 3-up saves. That drone's down to 2 wounds as well. And then there's a las cannon, which hits on a 3 and hits and wounds on a 3 and wounds. I need a 5-up and vulnerable save or it's minimum 2 damage and the drone is dead. The drone is not dead. And that's the end of Grey Knight's turn 1. They haven't killed a target. They've severely injured the drones on the right and the left. But apart from that, the Death Guard are uninjured as they roll into this battle grid in their turn 1. So the Death Guard push and a wall of filth and stench washes over the Grey Knight lines. On this flank, Hellbrute, Crawler, Demon Prince, Hauler, injured drone. On the other flank, 2 haulers and drone and Hellbrute and rhinos full of Plague Marines and the Blight Lord Terminators just behind. All of these are enclosed buildings, by the way, and these walls, well, they're like ruins. Infantry can go through the ruins. I could have ran straight through that wall with my big unit of Blight Lord Terminators, but not yet. Let's keep them in. Anything that comes out here next turn, we'll jump on them. The Grey Knights scored 2 points at the end of their turn for being on 2 objectives. I'm going to score 2 points for being on 2 objectives. And my Lord of Virulence pointed at that Dread Knight in the shooting phase. So I'm going to re-roll hit rolls of 1 against that. Unless it's blast weapons, then I'm going to re-roll all hits against it. And then I put, with Mortarion's Amble, you can pick 3 units and put them in contagion range, even if they're beyond normal contagion range. And I put the walkie things. I put the Knight and the Dread Knight and the other Dread Knight. I put them all in contagion range. So the goal is to take down 2 of the Dread Knights, hold firm for now, wait for the Grey Knights to come advancing into my lines, and then smush them. And give them some nurgly love. So let's start off by shooting this thing here. Remember the fetid bloke drone you tried to kill?
Yes.
It spurts acid all over it 8 times. And this wounds on 5s. Now that's AP -1, but you're in contagion as well. So essentially counts as AP -2. And you take 3 wounds?
Yeah.
There's on 10 left. Let's fire the Mephitic Blight Hauler in. And when I target a vehicle, and these are vehicles, add 1 to hit and add 1 to wound. So missile, right, that misses. Okay, the multi-melters, 1 of them hits. Strength 9, wounds, 4-up invulnerable save.
Yep.
And you make it. But remember I pointed at it?
Yeah.
So the missile that missed, I can re-roll, and hits, and wounds, another 4-up invulnerable save. And that's D6 damage for 6 damage. And the multi-melter that missed, I can re-roll. When that hits, And that wounds. Another 4 up and vulnerable save.
Yep.
No. And it's down to 2 wounds remaining. Infernal Cannon. From Demon Prince into it. I think it's a 2 damage weapon. So we're hitting on 2s anyway with the reroll. It's strength 7 and your toughness is down.
Yeah.
So it's going to wound. They all wound all the times, and those are 4 up and vulnerable saves. And that is a dead Dread Knight. Alright, that means I've got a Plague Burst Crawler down this flank to spare. So we're going to put Entropy Cannons into the Big Knight.
Yeah.
And we're going to put a Mortar down into these Purifiers here.
What's the mortar?
D6 plus 3 blast.
AP.
-1. There's a strat where you can get a 4 up and vulnerable save. But
Yes.
you don't need it. It's only AP -1. So D6 plus 3 plus blast is many shots. 3s to hit. 2s to wound. 5 thrip saves. 2 damage a time. I nuke one of them. And then on a 6. That's not a 6. That would have been mortal wounds. And then 2 entropy cannons go into the knight and hit both of the times and don't wound it. And then the last Plague Burst Crawler here fired up and over this rocky terrain, indirectly down into those purifiers as well. And it's in direct fire, no wounds caused. So that's the unloading of the firepower on this flank. Got rid of one of the Dread Knights, hurt a purifier. That's a good start. We'll come around this way. I already killed the thing my dude pointed at. It's already dead over there. So we've got targets over this way and quite a few targets to shoot. Let's start off with the Hauler, which will fire a missile in at the Dread Knight, and that hits with +1 to hit and +1 to wound. That doesn't wound. And then the multi-melters hit both of the times and wound both of the times. 2 4 up and vulnerable saves on the Dread Knight. You make one fail one, and that does 1 wound. So that was that Mephitic Hauler. Let's go on to the other one. Here's the missile, which hits and wounds, and a thrip save against that.
Yeah.
And you're good. And then the multi-melter hits both of the times, and at strength 9 wounds both of the times with +1 a wound. And you make one fail one, and that's another 5 damage off the Dread Knight. The drone is just out of range, but this Hellbrute is firing in as well. Hits once and wounds. So another 4 up and vulnerable save.
There it
What
is.
do you make? Okay. So I'm running out of gun, but I have got 2 blight launchers, heavy blight launchers. Let's fire at the same target. D6 plus 2 shots each. That's maximum effort. So we hit on 3s. 6s are lethal, so those are lethal. Strength 10, we reroll 1s because of tremulous emissions. Didn't help. 2 wounds come through, 2 4 up and vulnerable saves. And it takes another 3 damage. And let's do the same with the second drone, but this one only has 3 shots, and those are lethal. And that one doesn't wound. So 2 more 4 up invulnerable saves. And that's another 3 damage. Is it still alive?
Yes.
How many wounds has it got?
3.
3 remaining. Can this thing see it? No, we can't. Getting down, having a look. There's too much shizzle in my drizzle in the way. So the only way I'm going to be able to kill it is by firing the Plague Burst Mortar indirectly. So we have 8 shots, which hit on 4s. 1 hit, 1 lethal. That one doesn't wound. 1 tup save.
Oh,
That's 2 damage.
I'm going to re-roll.
Are you for a CP?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was a couple more bolters and things rattling into the side of that Dread Knight. And that's the end of my turn 1. We're not in charge range. It was a poultry shooting a phase for the Grey Knights and for the Death Guard as they close in on each other. We're both on 2 points each for holding on to 2 objectives. And up to 3 of the units of the Grey Knights are going to get picked up and placed in the warp.
2 Terminator squads.
2 Terminator squads.
Yep.
And come teleporting back in as we go to Grey Knights. Turn 2. Also Drago's off the table as well. And another Dread Knight. This could get scary. In the Grey Knights movement phase, they just push. Not a lot of Imperial forces in the backfield now. That's because this objective is sticky, and they made it to all 3 objectives right across the middle of the battle grid. When they pushed round this way, this Purifier squad, which did have 4 fellas in it, are down to 2. I overwatched them with that drone. Killed 2 of them. And then we have the Errant, we have some strike teams and some strike teams and some interceptors over here. Not very strong on this flank or in the centre, but as we go around to the other flank, we have some interceptors, we have the Purgator squads who've just got out of the Razorback, we have the Dreadnought and we have the Dread Knight looking this way. And then 4 units teleported in deep behind the Death Guard lines. Drago is still off the battlefield for now, but there's the 2 units of Terminators with the Librarians that got picked up. That's the new Dreadnought coming in. And Chewie, you spent a CP on something?
Hallowed Beacon.
Hallowed Beacon, so you could deep strike in just over 6 inches away and is still a potential charge.
Yeah, because they class as hallowed ground purifiers, they can come straight in and then charge.
So I think the intention is to crack open the Rhino and then the anti-infantry the crap out of everything that spills out of the Rhino and then potentially charge in if you need to and kill everything. And obviously there is now suddenly a lot of pain on this flank for the Grey Knights. But we're starting on this flank with the Knight Errant, trying to lay low the Tyrant. The Baby Melter is coming into this little drone here, which is going to hit on a 3, and that hits. And it's going to wound on a that. I need a 5-up invulnerable save. That's not a 5-up invulnerable save. And the drone goes pop, and it does go pop. Bits of shrapnel fly off, injuring the Demon Prince and the vehicle nearby, but the remaining shots from the Knight Errant are all coming into the Demon Prince. Kill the Demon.
2d3 for 4 shots.
This is thermal cannon.
Yeah.
It's now the closest thing. So, you hit all the times. Wounds on 3s. Wounds once. I failed the save.
D6.
And then 3 shots with the Storm Spear. Hit twice. This will wound on 5s though.
Nope.
No wounds. So the Demon Prince is somehow still alive. And then the Purifiers put a couple of shots into it as well. And put that Demon Prince down to 3 wounds remaining. And I think that's it for the shots on this flank. Because the strike team with the Brotherhood champion, they advanced to get all the way on to this objective down here, which is now sticky. So we're going to move across to the middle, onto the other flank. So we're going to start off with the Razorback firing in at the Terminators, trying to make that fire support rule kick in. Here's the Las Cannon, and it hits. Wounds on a 3. I'm toughness 7, that wounds. That's a failed save. That's D6 plus 1 damage, and that blows up a Terminator. So now the Purgation Squad are firing in at the Terminators with all the side cannons. On 3s, re-rolling 1s, there's a Dreadnought stood right next to them. Venerable Ancient saying, no, left a bit, right a bit. And that helped a bit. Strength 8, wounds on 3s. And then re-rolling all the wounds, failed wounds, because of fire support, because they're shooting at the same thing that the Razorback shot at. That's pretty good. I need to make some 3s. That kills another Terminator. So now we're onto the Dread Knight, also targeting the Terminators. It wants to charge the drone right in front. Doesn't want to waste gunfire at that. So firing a heavy side cannon in at the Terminators.
It's on 4s.
Okay, because it's a bit injured, right?
Yeah.
And that means only 3 of them hit.
1 failed though is a dead Terminator.
Oh yeah, it is 3 damage weaponry. So 2s to wound, not 2s, 3s to wound.
3 wounds.
Yeah, and 1 failed save will kill a dead Terminator. I need a blue dice. Will kill a Terminator. You kill 2 Terminators. Then the gun that goes brrr also fired in at the Terminators, as well as some more incidental firepower and no more injuries caused. There's still 6 stood there with the Lord of Contagion, and then the Dreadnought fired in at the Mephitic Blight Hauler and missed. So yeah, just firing up into the air. That's the end of the shots from there. Now we're coming down into this corner, where there's a couple of Librarians with Vortex of Doom.
Vortex of Doom!
Want to crack a Rhino?
Yes.
Start off with the first one. Don't roll a 1. That's not a 1.
2d3.
That is
5
5 mortal wounds. It's half dead. Okay, and you do Vortex of Doom in the shooting phase attacky thing, so then you shot in with all the stuff. And the Incinerator and the Storm Bolters into the side of a tank,
Yeah.
Didn't do any wounds to the side of a tank. It's still on 5 remaining. But you got another librarian.
Yes.
So you're doing it again.
Yes.
Vortex of Doom.
Ah.
You rolled a 1. A 1 is bad.
How many? But I feel no pain from 4 up. That's cocked. He's fine.
He's fine. Okay. So the Vortex of Doom didn't go off. Now let's do lots of anti-infantry fire into the tank one more time. All right. Lots of dice rolling later. No further wounds caused to the side of a tank. So we're on to the Dread Knight trying to crack the side of a tank. Here's the heavy side cannon. And it hits on 3s. And that is...
Rerolling that 1 because a hallowed ground.
There's a hallowed ground. Purifiers, yeah.
Yeah.
Strength, 10. 3s to wound. Wounds 5 times.
-2.
3 damage a time, right?
Yeah.
Now you finally crack the tank. Does it blow up? It doesn't blow up. Then the Plague Marine unit disembarked from the destroyed Rhino there. One of them died in the explosion. And you're spending a CP on a thing.
Yes.
What's the thing?
It's called Sanctified Kill Zone.
Right.
So because the Purifier squad are hallowed,
Nice.
they rerolled all hits anyway.
Yes.
So this rerolls all wounds because they're a Purifier squad.
So you're rerolling all hits and all wounds into my Plague Marines.
Yes.
This is going to sting, isn't it?
Hopefully.
And you're spitting fire. All the side cannons, of which you got 4 of them,
Yes.
are going into the Dreadnought. All the other shots into the Plague Marines.
Yes.
Here's the shots into Dreadnought. 3s to hit, re-rolling everything. And then 5s to wound.
Yes.
Re-rolling everything.
So that's my big hands trying to knock models.
Big hands.
Big hands.
And these are all 3-up saves. And that is 4 damage to the Hellbrute. And now there is going to be a wall of purifying flame trying to purify these Plague Marines. Hitting on 3.
3.
Re-rolling everything. And then it's anti-infantry 2 up. And re-roll all of this as well. And it's all -1. 1 damage. No cover. Can you seal it? Bang. The Plague Marines. That kills 4.5. Now the Storm Bolters. 3s. Re-rolling everything. Chewie.
Yeah.
This re-rolling everything. That's the detachment thing, right?
Because they're hallowed ground, yes.
Right, okay. So, yeah. Hallowed ground things. And then 5s to wound. And you're re-rolling everything because of the stratagem for
Stretch
this.
the
It's good, this, because I play Grey Knights as well, so I'm like, I like it. I mean, there's a lot of re-rolls going on, but it's certainly effective. It's all about the re-rolls. 3s, 1 was injured, so he's dead. Oh, okay. And then we did Crow, and he killed 1 more. So I've got 3 guys left there, and the Malignant Plaguecaster, my lieutenant, and 2 guys with heavy plague weapons, just in case you happen to make that charge. Took away from the front. Hellbrute down to 4 wounds remaining. Is there any more shots? That shot.
they've all shot.
They all shot. That was painful. You killed a drone. You didn't kill the Demon Prince. You nearly killed the Demon. That was, yes. So we're charging.
Yes.
Where would you like to charge?
Well, I'm going to start. How much have I got?
far
9 there.
It's a 9 now, is it?
Yeah, 9 or 9 there.
Right.
They are. So I'm going to try and charge with everything.
Right.
Apart from the Dread Knight. 12. So they're going to try and charge into there.
Okay.
On a, what was it? A
28? Looks like a 28 inch charge. That's an 11 for the Terminators. That's it. That's a 6. No. Crow? 9-inch charge?
9-inch charge. There
That's
it
a
is.
10. Crow's very angry. So Crump, they make it in there.
Yeah.
And then down to the Dread Knight. You want to charge both of these targets?
Yes.
So it's a 5-inch charge?
Yes.
Otherwise you fail the charge. And that's a 5.
Yes.
You don't fail the charge. So Clump, you get in there. Those guys disembarked after it moves, so they're not charging. And I'm not sure if these guys are charging anymore.
Might do the Dreadnought.
Dreadnought. Long bomb charge on the Dreadnought.
Nope.
Dreadnought is not charging in. Any charges over here? They advanced. I think you're out of range. You're a long way away.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all about overwhelming this flank. Let's fight. So because I have the CP to interrupt, we're going to start with the Purifiers, because I'm not going to interrupt with some vehicles banging against your vehicle. So let's start off with Crow. He hits on 2s.
Rerolling that 1.
Yes.
Yep.
He's strength 6, -2, 2 damage, and he's got precision. And toughness 6.
Yeah.
That's just 1 wound.
Oh, yes.
5-up save. I'm okay. Screw you, Crow. So now the Nemesis Force weapons. 3 attacks each.
Hitting on 3s.
Yes.
Re-rolling.
Rerolling all the things all the times. Strength 6, toughness 6.
Pause.
That's a bit better.
Yeah.
2 damage a time. So 5 up saves. Dead, dead, dead. The Malignant Plaguecaster's alive somehow. But he gets hit by some combat knives and takes 2 wounds to the combat knives. And at the end of all that ruckus, somehow the Malignant Plaguecaster's hanging in there on 2 wounds remaining, surrounded by some purifiers, battling his heart out. We'll come over here to the Dread Knight that charged these 2 vehicles. What are you doing? You've got 5 attacks.
So I'm hitting the bloke drone with 2.
Yes.
And then the other one
with 3.
3, yes.
Okay. So hit the drone, hit away. Hitting on 3s
4s.
with your demon hammer.
Because I'm damaged.
Oh, yeah.
There's 1.
You hit once. Strength 14. Wounds on a 3. Doesn't wound. And you've got no CP. That drone is gonna live. So the 3 attacks into the hauler. You hit every single time.
Yeah.
And again, strength 14. 3s to wound. You wound twice.
Yeah.
I need to make 5 up and vulnerable saves. I make 1 fail 1. And the damage is D6 plus 1 damage for 7. Okay, so both of the vehicles are still alive. So one is going to unlock its gnashing maw. The other one's going to plague probe you.
Nice.
I'm going to hit you at the same time on 3s. 6 is a lethal. I was hoping for the lethals because it's going to be 5s to wound otherwise. Do a wound. Do a wound. That is a 4-up save. And you take a wound and go down to 2 remaining.
Yes.
It's good. I could have killed you there. I could have killed you. This thing's locked up now. The other one, the drone, they can fall back, shoot and charge. Nice. That's their thing. I've got a Malignant Plaguecaster over here. Let him swing. He swings his Corrupted Staff, which hits on 3s. Only 2 hits. Strength 6, but your toughness is down, so it wounds on 2s. There's a wound. 4-up save because of contagions. No. And it does D3 damage. And I take one of the purifiers with me. But that's not a good thing, is it, Chewie?
No, they hit on 2s.
Yeah, when purifiers, as soon as they lose a dude, they hit better.
Yes.
They get angrier. You know, there's only about 40 purifiers in the entire galaxy.
Well, I've got 15 of them.
I like purifiers. You see, the good thing about them is they don't wait for demons to come to this reality. They go to hell and fight demons in hell. How cool is that?
That's very cool.
Anyway, with these units battling it out, we're at the end of Grey Knight's turn 2. They don't control this objective yet, but they do control the central one and the one over here with the Errant and the one in the backfield, making it 5 points to 2. Does Mortarion come deep striking in this turn? You didn't bring in Drago. So keeping your powder dry, keeping them back to try and slay the demon. Does Mortarion come in? Not sure. And I've got a purifier straight shaped problem in my lines, which would be nice to hit lots and lots of long range firepower into. But I'm currently locked up in close combat with that Malignant Plaguecaster. Let's do his battle shock test, which he passes. And then he'll fall back through. He has to go through. So he takes a desperate breakout test because you're going through models.
Oh, he's fine.
Okay, so he'll make it through out of there. So we'll be able to shoot the purifiers as we go on a death card turn 2. So we've got 99 problems, but Drago ain't one yet. We'll deal with him next turn. Mortarion's in. He came in off the top rope and has landed deep behind enemy lines. And this objective will no longer be sticky. And we'll shoot and we don't even need to charge. We'll just shoot, we'll do some plague windy things and we'll stay there. And then next turn we can come leaping forward. And if the Grey Knights want to return to get my Demon Primarch, they can return to get my Demon Primarch. It pulls some of the pressure away from my lines down here. And then I've got a couple of tanks and a Hellbrute looking at this knight, as well as this tank as well. And the Demon Prince is going to go in and finish off those last 2 purifiers down there. I'm not going to go against the champion because he has fights first. And I'm definitely not going to charge an Imperial Knight. So my Prince, he's only on 3 wounds. He wants to get some blood. Then you can charge him. Over here, the unit of Plague Marines got out of the Rhino before it moved. There is my Malignant Plaguecaster. The idea is this unit should be able to get rid of Crow's unit. Shooting, charging in, punching, shoot. That should be death to Crow. And then up here, death to the Dread Knight. I really need to kill the Dread Knight because you overwatched my drone when it fell back from close combat.
Yeah.
Killed my drone. Dead drone. So this mephitic blight hauler will shoot in at it, and then I've got another hauler and a hellbrute round the other side, which if it isn't dead can also lend their firepower and a potential. There's lots of shots coming this way. Dead purifiers, dead dread knight. In the middle we have a drone. We have the terminators pushing up this way, and then I have this problem down here. So if I get rid of them, there's still a few bits over there, still a few bits over there, still these guys back here. So I moved the tank around and my Lord of Virulence and the two fetid bloat drones with a heavy blight launcher around to deal with this problem down here. Basically, I'm splitting out all over the place. I'm playing like a harlequin right now, trying to cover every single corner of the battle grid and make these Imperial forces bleed. So we start off the shooting phase round here. I killed a purifier, yay. And then we're going to shoot the mephitic blight hauler up at your knight. Here's the missile, which hits with +1 to wound. Doesn't wound, brilliant. And then the multi-melter hits both of the times. Strength 9. Toughness 11 now. Their toughness went down. So 10. Yeah, still 4s to wound with +1 to wound. Okay, nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Just draw his attention, right?
Yeah, with okay. So we'll shoot this hellbrute at him as well. 3s and 5s. I do a wound. 5 up and vulnerable save.
Nope.
No. D6 damage on the errant. 5. It's a strong start. How many wounds do they start off on now? 26?
70.
70 wounds.
Yeah.
Okay, it's down to 65 wounds remaining. Right, got 2 tonks. They're firing everything at the knight. Let's fire everything at the knight. So let's do it all together. Here's all the entropy cannons. And everything hits. Strength 10. You're in contagion.
Yeah.
So 4s to wound instead of 5s. A wound once. AP minus a lot. You don't make the save. D6 +1 damage for 6 more damage. It's down to like 50 odd wounds. And then the mortars together. Hit on 3s. Those 6s are lethal. And wound on 5s. 4/5 up saves. Takes 4 more damage. And then the stubbly guns came in, and the knight errant is down to 11 wounds remaining. That was strong stuff. I like it. It's not going to get hit by any more firepower though. Let's come into the middle and let's fire this fetid bloat drone plus the terminators, everything in that unit right in front of them. Then between the drone and the Blight Lord terminators, that 5-man squad of that strike team, they were overkilled. Now we come to the mephitic blight hauler, shooting at this dread knight on 2 wounds remaining. Let's take it down. I'm going to hit you on that because I'm in close combat. This is the multi-melter, which wounds. 4 up and vulnerable save. You need to make it or he's dead. He's still alive.
Yes.
Missile. Misses. Okay, this one firing into combat. We're allowed to fire into combat?
Yep.
Because you're a thing, because you're a monster, you're a vehicle. We hit twice with the multi-melters. This multi-melter is going to wound on 2s. 1 more wound with a multi-melter.
Nope.
You keep making your invulnerable save. Stop it now. Let's put a crack missile into him. I'm at the point where I'm thinking, no, we're not going to re-roll because there's the multi-melter on the Hellbrute.
Yeah.
I might I can charge you with the Hellbrute. Multi-melter's in. One of the multi-melters hits. It's going to wound you on a 2. That's a wound. Can you keep make 4 up in buns?
Nope.
No, you can't. And it is 6 damage.
Doesn't explode.
Doesn't explode. We finally take him down. Made that look easy, didn't I? Right, before we get to the pain train, which is going to unload into Crow, coming across here to my Lord of Virulence, who is pointing at this unit. Okay? And we're going to start shooting at the unit with damage 3 heavy blight launchers.
Sitting on 4s.
Hitting on 4s, because that one's got stealth.
Yes.
That's okay, we're going to re-roll all hits.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we have 5 shots, and we're going to re-roll all the hits, because he pointed at them. He's like, you must die. And that 6 is lethal. And then it's strength 10. So they all wound all the times, and they're invulnerable saves. Failed invulnerable saves, kill a Terminator. 2 dead Terminators. Let's do it again with drone number 2. This time we have maximum effort. 4s. Re-rolling all the things. That's only 2 hits. At least one of them's lethal. Okay. And then 2s. Right, 5 more. 4 up. Invulnerable saves. Kill 2 more. So it's just the apothecary with the librarian. We don't like librarians because of Vortex of Doom. So now we're going to fire a tank. Everything at the unit. I know we've got a big thing behind, but you can put them back in.
Yeah.
So we're going to shoot. Here's entropy cannons. They both hit, even though you're stealthed. 2s to wound. They both wound. Invulnerable saves. One's cocked, one's not so cocked. That's still cocked, Chewie.
Yeah.
Okay, one will get through. D6 plus 1. That kills the apothecary. So he's not coming back. And then the mortar has 5 shots. Which, with stealth would have still kicked in. We're re-rolling everything because blast, because sticky finger pointed at you. They're lethal. They're not so lethal. We're re-rolling 1s because, oh no, we're out of range. Them. 4, 3. He's good. We're good. Yeah, 3 up saves. We're good. So they all fired. I haven't got rid of your Vortex of Doom. Vortex of Doom is still stood there. I got rid of the Terminators though. Right, now what we do here is Rhino shoots at purifiers, and then the squad that got out of the Rhino fires everything at the purifiers, re-rolling all the wounds all the time. Right, fire the Rhino in, you made the saves. Let's start off with the 2 Blight launchers. 2 D3 shots plus blast. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shots. Blight launchers. We're hitting you on 3s. 6s are lethal. 6s are also sustained because there's a malignant plaguecaster in there. And then they're strength 6, so they wound on 2s. And then re-roll because fire support. And that many. Lots of 4s, Chewie. Each failed save. Dead purifier. That's 5 dead. Let's overcook some plasma. So those are lethal and sustained. Oh no, they're not lethal. They're just sustained because the weapons aren't lethal. So sustained. Overcooking. 2s. 4 wounds. These are 6 up saves. And I take 4 more out. Then the Malignant Plaguecaster hits with a D6 plus 3 plus blast plague wind. Sorry, just checked. It's not blast, but it does wound on 2s. That was really cocked. 4 up and guns.
Ignore 1.
Yes. So 2 D3 wounds on Crow.
Yeah.
Because it's just Crow stood there.
Yeah. Cat's got, yeah.
That is 5 wounds on Crow.
Yeah, it's got.
That's a dead Crow. And we didn't even have to go charging in there. And I think that's the end of my shooting phase. We got rid of Crow and the things. Got rid of a unit of Terminators here. Got rid of a Dread Knight there. Which means there's nothing for these units to charge here. Nothing. I could charge them. We could send that in there. But I want to stay on this objective because I'm not sure that that one's in range. So they're not charging. Over here, we could charge your Librarian. Let's charge your Librarian. Yep, that's just an inch off. We don't charge the Librarian. So the Librarian, that's fine. We've done a lot of injury. What were we doing over here? Oh yeah, we were going to hit some purifiers, weren't we? Snake Eyes will fail. That's not a fail. And then 1 minute, I just remembered Mortarion. We need to do Mortarion shoot attacks. Do Mortarion. We're going to shoot the strike team in the back. Okay. So I'll shoot you with the lantern, the ancient plasma gun. That hits. That wounds. The wall's in the way, so that is a 4. Yep. And that saves anyway. And then Rot Wind.
Fart attack.
Stinky fart. Number of auto hits. They're not auto hits, Chewie. He's got to direct his fart to hit on a 2.
Swings his backside.
Swings his backside. Yeah, that one's lethal there. Strength 7. You're not currently in contagion range, interestingly enough. I wound only 3 times. So that only kills 1. 1 is fine. 1's enough. And then the Demon Prince is smacking that last purifier there. 7 attacks. Nurgle's number. Hits on 2s. That one's lethal. Strength bajillion.
You had 2 6s.
With a what?
You had 2 6s.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that many 5 up saves. You got to pass every single one.
Nope.
Dead purifier. And that's the end of the good guys. Turn 2, the Death Guard. Viva la Resistance. Trying to overthrow the brutal dictatorship. The Imperium of Man. Take 3 points for being on these objectives. So it's 5 points each. I've got Mortarion, my warlord, the best general in the history of generals, causing trouble in the backfield. I've got the Knight Errant, down to 11 wounds left and staggering. There's only one Dread Knight on the battlefield left alive, but he's on full wounds, and you could potentially jump up and jump away with some of the units back here. And there's Drago still up in the warp, and it's turn 3. So he's got a deep strike in this turn and cause some pain. Will he come after Mortarion, the Demon Primarch, or will he chicken out and go after like a Malignant Plaguecaster or something like that? Stay tuned and join us in Grey Knights, turn 3. In the Grey Knight's turn, that Dread Knight is coming in for revenge for Castellan Crow, who disappeared in the flash of a teleport and is currently on the battle barge. That Dread Knight should make short work of a bunch of those Plague Marines. Mind you, Death Guard. I'll be interested to see how that one actually goes. Then we've got a Dreadnought versus Hellbrute, potentially. And the Purgation Squad are pushing around towards the centre. And then one of the units of Interceptors are pushing around towards the centre. Considering how strong that flank looked last turn, looks a hell of a lot weaker now. Mind you, the Librarians jumped up and landed in the backfield. I baited the draw. All of a sudden, there's lots of stuff down here facing the Demon Primarch. I am the master baiter. No one can bait like I can. I've had people tell me that they think they can bait like me, but they can't masturbate like me. I masturbate hard. So we've got Drago, we've got his Drago, we've got the Librarian, we've got another Librarian, we've got everyone looking at Mortarion. You want to kill him. Mm-hmm. And that pulls you away from my lines. Perfect. Oh yeah, then you can jump back up again. So maybe I didn't masturbate hard enough. Maybe that was a bit limp at the end. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. There's an Errant, which is going to punch something over here, and a Champion, which is probably going to punch a Demon Prince as well. Let's go on to the shooting phase. I'm going to start here with the Dread Knight firing everything at the Plague Marine. 6 shots with the Heavy Blight Launcher. Hits on.
Heavy what?
Heavy Blight Launcher? Heavy side cannon.
Yes.
It's the other. Sorry.
Hitting on 3s.
Yes, you missed 3 times. Wounds on 3s, interestingly. There's 2 wounds, 2 5-up saves. We killed 2 of them.
Incinerator.
Heavy Incinerator. Okay, number of auto hits. 5 auto hits. Strength of this is?
6.
Toughness 6. Wounds 4 times.
-1.
4-up saves. You kill 1.5 more. Softening them up for the charge there. Now we're on to the Venerable Dreadnought shooting the Hellbrute in the face. Hellbrute's on 4 wounds. And you miss.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's coming from the Razorback.
Yeah.
Shooting the Hellbrute in the face and you miss. You're going to have to punch it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're going to have to punch it. There's a Purgation Squad there? What does a Purgation Squad want to shoot at?
It's going to shoot at your Terminators.
You sure?
No.
They're in cover and it's AP -1. Look, there's like the wall and things. I'm just going to tank it on all the guys with 2-up saves.
You've got a good point there.
Yeah.
I will...
It's not a great shot.
No, it's not a great shot.
No, shoot at the Hellbrute. That was fun. Well, shoot at that thing. It's only on 3 wounds left. Try and kill it.
No, because I need to charge it.
You want to charge it with what? I thought you were going to charge my Hellbrute with your Venerable Dreadnought.
No.
No?
Well, we were going to see, because I was expecting it to not be here after 2 las cannon shots.
Right.
But that's points.
You need to hit with the las cannons. I think that's the
that
critical.
Is the key.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go and hit it normally in melee with a las cannon.
A few moments later. Because you want to punch that thing, you need that thing dead. So you're going to shoot that thing with a Purgation Squad.
Yes.
Right. Okay, 3s to hit me. That's quite a lot of hits. It's the 5s to wound with a 2-up save that's the tricky part though.
Yes.
So any 5s. At least you hit this time. I mean...
1.
1. I make the save, we're good. Right, then we did the rest of the shooting in the middle. Anti-infantry into tanks and Terminators. No wounds caused because tanks and Terminators. Then we come across here to the Knight Errant. Now, he's being a hero. He's going to shoot Thermal Spear and Melter into that one. The big cannon is coming into tank and then charge that.
Yes.
And if you manage to pull this off, this Knight Errant is going to kill 3 targets in 1 turn.
Storm
like
Spear.
A G. Storm Spear. Yeah, so 2s to hit that with the closest thing. So Storm Spear or Melter?
Storm Spear first.
2s. Hitting the Demon Prince all the times. Wounds it on 5s. Doesn't wound it. How about the Melter? Oh, Hits. Needs a 5.
Nope.
Doesn't wound it. 2d3 into the tank, though, is 3 shots into the tank. Hits the tank on 3s. And wounds the tank on 4s? 3s, wounding the tank on 3s. That is 2 wounds. 2, 5 up and vulnerable saves. Fail them both. This is 2d6 plus 12 damage. It's a dead tank. Because we are in melt range. Kaboom. It just gets melted to slag. Yeah. Thermal cannon. D6 plus 6 damage in melt range. That tank stood no chance. But somehow the Demon Prince is still dancing around all over the place. Now the unit right in front of the Demon Prince is going to fire everything at the Demon Prince. And then a chunk of wounds came through because you're in rapid fire range. Lots of 2s coming up. It takes a wound. That Demon Prince goes down to 2 wounds remaining. The Demon Prince is reeling. He's going to get charged by the champion. The Errant is going to charge that Mephitic Blight Hauler there. And now we have all the shots in the backfield surrounding Mortarion. What do you want to start off with?
I'm going to start off with the
Librarian.
Vortex of Doom for both of them.
This guy?
Yes.
Okay. The one on his own. Don't roll a 1. That's a 6.
2d6.
That's 2d6 mortal wounds. That's 7. That's 7. That's Nurgle's number. And that means I'm going to make all of these 5 up feel no pains because Nurgle's number. Except for the 6 feel no pains I didn't make. Next Vortex of Doom.
2d3.
That's 2d3, is it? Okay. That's 4 more mortal wounds. 4 more feel no pains coming up. Mortarion has taken 9 wounds. So Mortarion's on 7 wounds remaining. And now he's going to get lit up by this squad of Terminators. Hitting on 3s? Rerolling 1s because of something?
Because it's my deployment zone. It's classed as Helic Red.
Right. 6 is the wound though. Here's a Demon Primarch. I see 1. I see 1. Tip save. You good.
Nice.
Side cannon. Hits all the times.
Strength 8. So 4, 5.
5's the wound. He's toughness 12. There's a wound. And he makes that save as well. Then we fired everything else in. Stormbolters, side cannons, incinerators from all the other units in line of sight and range of Mortarion. He's got a 2-up save and a 5-up feel no pain. He's down to 4 wounds remaining. He's battered. He's reeling, particularly after that impact from Vortex of Doom. But he's not out of the fight yet. And now we're charging. And that's a successful charge. They make it there. Now Drago's unit want to make a charge. Drago just needs a 6 because of special Drago things. And that's a 5.
Yeah, going to re-roll.
CP reroll.
There it
That's
is.
a 6. He just gets in there. So that's 2 units swarming around Mortarion's ankles. Then we did a couple of charges here. Knight Errant couldn't fail the charge against the Hauler. The champion of the strike team couldn't fail the charge against the Demon Prince. Where else are we charging, Chewie? Charging everywhere.
All these 3 units are going to go into that.
Okay.
And then the Dread Knight into that.
Okay. So let's roll for that Dreadnought. See if you can make that charge. 6. Are you 7 away? You were within range. So the Dreadnought does make that charge into the Hauler. Then the Purgation Squad gets in there as well. Razorback chilling back up there. And the Dread Knight makes the charge. So you've got fight first units all over the place. And I've got 3 CP, which I've been sitting on, ready to interrupt. So if you don't want to fight first with Drago, then I can pay to interrupt and kill Drago.
Well, I've got a champion who's got to hit him first anyway.
Well, the champion's got fight first, but all your charging units have fight first as well.
Yeah.
So pick one, and then I'll interrupt.
All right, okay, Drago then.
So Drago swings at Mortarion, he hits on 2s.
Hitting on 2s.
Hits every single time.
Yeah.
What a G.
Wounding on 2s.
Anti-demon 2-up. Wounds 5 times. 4-up and vulnerable saves?
Well, yeah, it's minus 4 AP.
Yeah, so definitely 4-up and vulnerable saves. Right, yes.
3 damage a time.
So that's 9 damage.
Yes.
9 feel no pains. He's got 4 wounds remaining. The demon Primarch falls. But at the end of the fight phase, so long as he doesn't roll a 1, he'll strike out as he falls. It's not a 1. So this is Boon of Death, one of the Primarch abilities, right?
Boon.
And basically I get to fight before he's removed from play. I'm thinking I'll hit the Champions unit.
Yep.
And have 15 attacks.
Yep.
Hitting on 2s. Lethal ones and sustained. There's a lot of 1s. Strength 8. 2s to wound. Add the lethal ones back in. They're -2, so -3. 2 damage a time.
Oh, wow.
And that kills everyone in the squad, except for the champion somehow, who walks out of a fight with a demon Primarch, still smiling. Right, let's pay 2 CP and interrupt. 1 minute. Chewie forgot to charge this unit in. We're charging this unit in. We got a bit carried away.
8, yes.
It does charge in. I'm paying to interrupt here. Hit your fights first unit, but you've already fought first.
Yeah. So
we're fighting next. We're hitting on 2s. None of them are lethal there, look. We're wounding on 2s. 5 up saves. And we take down 4 of them, leaving 1 stood left with the champion. So now the champion fights back. And hits on 2s. And there's 3 1s.
Not even deploying.
5s to wound?
Yes. No.
Doesn't wound. And then 3 attacks from the guy stood next to him. He hits all the times. 5s to wound. This demon's got 2 wounds. You just need 1 to get through.
Yeah.
That's 1.
-2.
4 up, and I'm alive. He's alive. The demon is somehow still alive. So next to the champion, we're on to the Knight Errant, striking out against this Mephitic Blight Hauler, hitting on 3s. Hits every single time. And strength really high. Wounds every single time. 5 up and vulnerable saves. No, I just took 18 damage. Kaboom? No kaboom, just gets cut straight in half. Chewie, that's one big chainsword. It's taller than my house. It's a big chainsword. What else we got?
We're going to go in the middle here.
Oh, the guys who you remembered to charge in. Okay, yeah, they go flying in there. Hitting on 3s with all their Nemesis Force weapons. Going to wound on 5s. And that's pretty good. Yep. That is 4 wounds. And -2, that's 6 damage.
Yep.
It's on 3 left. From a battle against 1 demon engine into the battle against another demon engine, this time with a dreadnought. Hitting it on 3s with a great big fist. And wounding it on 3s.
With a great big fist.
2 wounds, 3 wounds. 2 wounds. It's dead. It's definitely dead. Kaboom. Kaboom. Do a mortal wound to everything around it. Then moving along to the Death Guard backfield, the last Nemesis Dread Knight with a great hammer. Smushes in.
All hits.
Hits every single time. What a G.
2s.
Strength 14. And there's 2 1s. I need 6s though. I make a 6. So that kills, it's minimum 2 damage.
Yeah.
D6 plus 1. That smushes 2 into oblivion. We get to fight back. So the Plague Marines pile in. Here's just the normal Plague knives, getting all stabby and things. And because your toughness goes down, this will wound on 5s. And with 3 up saves, I do a wound. Then the Power Fist on the Sarge hits on 3s, and the heavy Blight weapons hit on 4s. And these will all wound on 3s, and they'll all be 4 up invulnerable saves. And that's a total of 6 damage, 2 each. Then the Corrupted Staff of the Malignant Plague Caster wounds 1 more time, another 4 up save.
Yep, sorry.
And that's the end of that combat. And that Dread Knight is still on 6 left.
Yes, 6 left.
Then we moved to the combat with the Hauler in the middle, and I missed all of my attacks, so those Inceptors are hanging in there. We did the fight here with the Demon Prince and the fighting back, and the Demon Prince, and they're still locked in. We're still locked up. That's the end of Grey Knight's turn 3. I baited the Vortex of Doom librarians and Drago himself all the way back to the Grey Knight's backfield, and it worked. But my Demon Primarch has been sent back to the warp. And the Grey Knights lock down this objective one more time at the end of their turn, and this objective, and they OC me off of that objective there, and take that objective there for many, many points. So at the end of Grey Knight's turn 3, it's 9 points to 5 in favour of the forces of the Imperium. And now the Death Guard are going to push back and push back hard. Now Mortarion is flickered back into the warp. The Death Guard are enraged. My Death Guard warband are known as the end of all things, and this will be the end of all things of this Grey Knight strike force. I'm going to send a baby little Hellbrute into a Knight Errant. That's hilarious. Love it. I've got a hammer. He's got a big chainsword. I swing first, kill the thing. Chewie doesn't have the CP to interrupt after shooting it with a multi-melter and the tank back here. Hopefully my Demon Prince walks through the fire as well, and my Demon Prince is the only thing that have failed a battle shock test this game so far. Hanging in there with these fellas. In the middle, the Hauler fell out of close combat, passed its battle shock test, and the idea is Terminators and drones kill all the Purgation squad. Then these Plague Marines and this Malignant Plague Caster should be able to kill this Dreadnought. My Hellbrute should be able to kill that Dreadnought, which leaves the tank and the Purgation squad there. So I've got a lot of guns looking at that tank and that Purgation squad there. My Lord of Virulence is going to point at that Purgation squad, and one of the Blight launchers is going to fire in and shoot this many times, and then hit on 3s and then re-roll all the things, because I pointed at them with the Lord of Virulence. Okay, and then it is strength 10, so it wounds on 2s but re-rolling 1s because of tremulous emissions. And then a chunk of 4-up saves, each doing 3 damage. Killed some of them, then the second drone had to fire in, and I spent a CP as well. But I've managed to kill the Purgation squad utterly. They're gone. Purgation squad gone. So let's shoot the Plague Burst Crawler at the tank. Here's 2 entropy cannons coming into the Razorback. One of them hits and doesn't wound. And the mortar fired in and put it down to 6 wounds remaining. So now we're on to the Hellbrute shooting that Dreadnought in the back. If I can kill that Hellbrute by shooting it, then I can charge the Razorback. Let's put 2 multi-melters in. One of them hits and doesn't wound. Looks like the Hellbrute is charging that Dreadnought. Okay, so we'll come to the middle where I've got a fetid bloat drone and all of these Terminators firing at these Interceptors. Lots of gunfire later, the Interceptor squad are dead. Right, come over here. I can't shoot in. You're a monster, so I can shoot monsters' vehicles in close combat, yeah, but not the unit that's in close combat with. So we can do his spell thing. What's it called? Plague Wind. Focus Witchfire. Let's do the hazardous version, which is Torrent and wounds on 5s, and I think they're devastating. Not devastating, but 4-up saves. You fail all 3. How many wounds is it on? 6. Because this is D3 each. Okay. So 2. It's on 1 wound remaining. Hazardous check. He's not dead. Then I fired a couple of pistols in. He's still on 1 wound remaining, that Dreadnought. And now I've only got a couple of things left to fire. We've cleared away all of these. We're coming over to this flank where we're going to shoot at this Knight Errant. Starting off with this Hellbrute at the Knight Errant. Hits once and doesn't wound. And let's put the shots in from the Plague Burst Crawler as well. Here's the 2 entropy cannons. And they both hit. Strength 10. Your toughness is now 10, strangely. One of them wounds. It's AP -3, so 5-up shield save. Yep. It's a failed save, and this is D6 plus 1 damage for 3 damage. And then 5 wounds came in from the mortar. And -2, that's 8 more damage. 2 damage a time. That's a dead errant.
But it explodes lots.
That's a 6.
Yes.
That's a D6 explosion. All right, I'll roll to hit your champion's unit, right? Because your champion's there, and him and his unit take 4 wounds, 6 wounds.
6 wounds.
No, that was enough to wipe out both of them. D6 on my prince. He's got 2 wounds. You kill him, just enough. And D6 on the Hellbrute that wanted to go charging in there. He just takes a tickle. He takes a tickle, but the explosion, at the end of the explosion, all that's left stood there is a Hellbrute, wondering what that was all about. And when we take it away, it looks like this. There's rather a clear patch on this side of the battle grid. Now we move across down here to the charge phase, where the Hellbrute charges the Dreadnought, and this Malignant Plaguecaster charges that Dread Knight. So I don't trust myself, so I am spending a CP on Tank Shock. As that Hellbrute comes flying in, he's going to get a cheeky shot in with his hammer and do 2 mortal wounds to the Dreadnought. Yeah. He's not got a hammer, he's got a Power Scourge. Anyway, he hits on 3s, and it is strength 7, but he adds 1 to wound because you're afflicted. So it's going to be forced to wound. Only wound once.
No, you don't.
And the Dreadnought makes the save. Okay, that happened. That Hellbrute may regret his life decisions in a minute. Meanwhile, this Malignant Plaguecaster is trying to shank that Hellbrute from behind with his Corrupted Staff. So he rams his Corrupted Staff in 4 times. That one's lethal, and that's 2 wounds. 2 wounds, 2 invulnerable saves.
1 goes through.
And that's his last wound, the Hellbrute. Yeah, he gets a Corrupted Staff up his bum. Yes. And falls over. Okay, your Dreadnought back against my Hellbrute. 5 attacks?
Yes.
Hits on 3s. And hits all the times. Strength really high. 3s to wound.
3 there.
Okay. I take 3 damage. That Hellbrute was on 4 wounds. So 1 remaining. So I'm on 1 wound. You're on 6 wounds. And that fight is ongoing. Chewie,
yes,
because I'm on this side of the table, can you turn your Dreadnought round to face me? It's like, it looked rude that we were back to back. Thanks. Thank you. Now, that's the end of Death Guard turn 3. I've done a lot of work. Essentially, apart from the Razorback and these dudes down here, everything else from Chewie's army is up this side of the battle grid. So the Death Guard are definitely winning the war of attrition. However, there's a couple of things. 1, Chewie can pick up a couple of these units if you want to. And 2, it was 10 points to 5 at the end of Grey Knight's turn 3. And because I didn't make the charge there and that thing blew up, and because I didn't kill that thing over there, I only get 2 points. So it's 10 points to 7 for the end of all things, my Death Guard. The Grey Knights are winning this day as we go on to turn 4. So, while these 2 Dreadnoughts are battling out here over this objective, the Grey Knights teleport back in again. We have the Librarian with Vortex of Doom. We have Drago. His 6-inch charge thing. It's once per battle now, yes, right? They spoiled it.
They've spoiled a lot from Grey Knights, yeah.
So it would be a 9-inch charge if he wants to go flying in there and take this objective. So he's there. You've got your champion down here holding on to the backfield objective.
Yes.
And the other Librarian is stepping through the ruins of that Knight Errant, holding on to that objective. So currently you're trying to snag 2 of them off of the Death Guard. And we're going to open the shooting phase by this Dreadnought shooting the Hellbrute in the face, point blank, with a las cannon. This is definitely a video game moment.
Hitting on 4s. There it is.
Of course you hit. 3s to wound. Twin linked, it wounds. I make the save. It's not a video game moment. I played Space Marine 2. I know what happens when you shove the thing and it does the thing. Right, so what are we doing with the Razorback?
Razorback shooting in.
Razorback's going to shoot it. Okay, right, yeah. And that hits. Okay, 3s to wound. And that wounds. Again, -3. So I need a 5. And I keep making saves on that Hellbrute. So now we're on to the Librarian, aiming through the archway there, trying to put Vortex of Doom on my Terminator squad, who do not roll a 1. There's not a 1.
2d3.
Yes. That's 6 mortal wounds. just nukes 2 Terminators. Their heads explode. And then he cast Purge Soul as well, but that failed to wound. Now Drago's unit is firing everything at that hauler, which is wounded, leaking oil and pus on 3 wounds. Auto-hitting flamers this number of times, wounds on 5s, with 4-up saves, put it down to 1 wound. Then Drago's Psychic Shot, the Scourging, hitting on 2s, wounding demons on 2s, kills it dead, and it doesn't blow up. Then we come to this flank where the second Vortex of Doom is unleashing onto the Hellbrute.
2d6.
Yeah, 2d3.
No, thank you.
Yes. And that's 3. 3 damage. Okay, it's down to 4 remaining. And then you shoot at it with everything.
Yeah.
Then all the shots came in. 3 wounds came through from a side cannon. At -1, 2 damage a time. That's a dead Hellbrute, and that one doesn't blow up either. And despite having so few assets left, the Grey Knights are doing all they can to kill these demons. That's 2 demon engines down. And now Drago wants to charge that drone.
Yes.
That drone is definitely going to overwatch.
Of course.
But let's see if you make that 9-inch charge.
Reroll.
Are you going to see me reroll?
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
That's a 10. Of course, Drago makes the 9-inch charge. Let's auto hit him 7 times on the way in, though. And wound him on 2s. With 3-up saves. That'll injure 1 on the way through. Drago comes flying in there with his 6 attacks and the Titan Sword. He's going to be hitting on 2s. Yeah. Everything hits. It's anti-demon 2-up. Wounding on 2s. That's 5 wounds. AP minus a zillion. 3 damage a time. 5 up in vulnerable. You do 15 wounds to that drone. That is definitely a dead drone, but if it blows up, it'll kill that injured paladin. It doesn't blow up. And there were 2 demon engines in the middle of the battlefield, and now all of a sudden there's Drago stood below the shadow of that statue. And with a banner flapping in the breeze, you've stolen the central objective off of the end of all things. We've got 1 more combat to do. Hellbrute versus Dreadnought. Hellbrute with Power Scourge. Hits on 3s. And
the lethal boost.
New wounds on 4s. 3-up saves. That is 4 damage off the Dreadnought. It's still alive on 2 wounds remaining. I'm on 4 wounds. 1 wound actually. You took a wound off last turn. And then you punch me with your fist. And hit 4 times. Actually,
reroll that 1 because of Hallowed.
You're in Hallowed. Oh yeah, you were mentioning,
Because I've got more than,
You have got more than me.
Doesn't matter anyway.
3s to wound. Wounds 3 times. And that's a dead Hellbrute. And no explosions. And at the end of turn 4, the Grey Knights have the objective on the left, the objective in the centre, and the objective on the right, as well as holding the 1 in the backfield. That gets them up to 13 points to the Death Guard's 7, as we go on to Death Guard turn 4. So, despite what I said at the beginning of the battle about one side getting absolutely mullered, we're both getting mullered. The Grey Knights have got hardly anything left, and neither have I. I need to try and take some of these objectives back. So the plan is, Terminators in the middle, shoot, charge Drago's unit. That sounds like a good idea, maybe? And then there's the Malignant Plaguecaster, wants to kill that Hellbrute, while the Plague Marines jump back inside the Rhino and push up over here. And then the plan is to kill the Razorback with guns, and then Rhino scores that objective. We score the central objective. I pushed forward with the tank. I advanced with the tank over here. With Mortarion's Anvil, I spent a CP giving it assault weapons, so it can go a long way and still shoot those guys. And then here's the Lord of Virulence with all the remaining guns shooting there. Basically, if this works out, I should kill everything and you just have a champion left and a librarian back there and a champion. And you'll be many, many points in the lead if this works out. It's not going to work out, but we'll give it a go. We'll start off with a Malignant Plaguecaster doing his windy thing at the Dreadnought. Adding 3 to this. And this wounds on 5s. 3 4-up saves. He fell one of them. It's on 2 wounds left, and this does D3 wounds. And kills the Hellbrute. It's also hazardous and doesn't kill my Malignant Playcaster. 1 domino has fallen. Domino number 2, kill Razorback. Tank, shooting everything at Razorback. Here is the Entropy Cannons. They both hit. Strength 10, you're in contagion range. Okay, we're command point and re-rolling. We do a wound. It's AP -3. With contagion, yeah, it's D6 plus 1 damage. For 5 damage, it's on 1 wound remaining, and then the mortar comes up and over and has 5 shots, which hit on 3s. Those are lethal. Wound on 5s. So 2 5-up saves because you're in contagion, and it's gone. We got rid of the Razorback. Right, Domino 2 has fallen. We've taken this objective. Now we come to the centre, with the Lord of Contagions units firing everything at Drago. I say everything. I've only got 2 Blight Launchers left in that squad, which have D3 shots each and blast. So these are going to hit on 3s. That one's really cocked. And it's strength 6. Your paladins, basically I'm wounding your 4s, not 3s. 2 wounds.
No, 1 wound.
Oh yeah, 1 wound. 4 up and vulnerable save.
There it is.
You're okay. So that's the shots there. Right. Now we come to these guys. Can they actually see Drago? No, I thought that they're pointing at your Librarian's unit, right? Yeah, I'm pointing at your Librarian's unit. We're shooting in at your Librarian's unit. I'm going to do both of these guys. Well, I have to do them separately because of blast thing. So it's D6 on one of them. +2 plus blast. Hitting the Libby's unit. And then, is this the stealth unit?
No, the stealth unit's gone.
It's dead. So we reroll all hits because the Lord of Virulence pointed at you. They're lethal. And then we're strength 10 and re-rolling that because of Lord of Virulence. Right, they are all invulnerable saves on the Librarian's unit. And it's 3 damage a time. That kills 4 of the Terminators. And then we do it again with drone number 2. Heavy Blight Launcher shells rained into the last Terminator and Librarian and absolutely nuked him. So yeah, 2 of them, when the Lord of Virulence points at a target, is just frightening. Which leaves this tank over here, and you'll notice where I angled it, look. I can see through the gap into Drago's unit. So we're going to shoot Drago's unit, because I haven't killed any yet. We'll do the Stubbly gun first, which hits on 3s, and that one's lethal. Wounds on 4s. It's 2 wounds, 2 3-up saves because of cover and contagion. Kill the injured guy. Kill the injured guy. 2 entropy cannons. They both hit. Strength 10 would normally wound on 2s, but 3s because of paladins. 1 wound. 1 4-up invulnerable save. It's really cocked. That's a save. And then the mortar hits on 3s. And wounds on 4s because of paladin things. Oh, look at that. Because of cover, they're all 3-up saves. And that kills 1 more. And that's the end of my shooting phase in turn 4. Getting rid of the units on the right and the left. Softening up Drago's unit in the middle for the Lord of Contagion to come charging in. Are you overwatching?
Yes.
Is there 3 incinerators left there?
Yes.
This is going to sting, isn't it?
Possibly.
So you auto hit 3d6 times. Toughness 7 though. It's 5 to wound, right? 3 wounds?
3 wounds -1.
One of them goes down to 1 wound.
Okay.
So 1 goes down to 1 wound. Then we did all the other shots, hitting on 6s, no further wounds caused. We charge 8. So we go flying in now. I've got 2 with bubotic blades. Now your toughness goes down, so I would normally wound you with lance on 2s because of the Lord of Contagion. But -1 to wound, I'm wounding you on 3s. So we're hitting you with the weapons. And then that's sustained because the guy's in there.
Lethal.
And lethal, so that goes back in.
Yeah.
And then instead of 2s to wound, 3s to wound. So they're all invulnerable saves, 2 damage a time. And 1 goes down to 1 wound.
Yep.
Then 2 flails of corruption. Okay, so 3s to hit. Lethal and sustained and lance and things. That's crazy, isn't it? Look at those. Loads of 6s. That's disgusting. So,
and resilient.
3s to wound. all -1, but -2 because of contagions.
Oh,
2 damage a time. That's really good saving. I kill the injured guy, and 1 goes down to a wound.
yes.
And my Lord of Contagion strikes out with his Man Reaper and hits on 2s. And I rolled 3 1s. It's time for a CP. I rolled another one. Would normally be 2s to wound, but 3s to wound because Paladin things. 2 4-up invulnerable saves. And I kill another. That leaves 1 uninjured Paladin left with Drago. So, who are we starting with?
Let's do Drago.
Let's do Drago. With his 6 attacks?
Yes, hitting on 2s.
Yes.
All hits.
Okay. Strength? Normal strength.
Strength 8.
3s to wound. We have 4 wounds.
-4.
-4, 3 damage a time, right? So any failed invulnerable save kills the Terminator. You bossed lots of your saves. I, on the other hand, then the Paladin has 4 attacks. It's on 2s and hits 3 times. And strength 6, toughness 7. 5s to wound. Doesn't wound. And at the end of all of that, we've got a Lord of Contagion versus Drago and a Paladin versus a Blight Lord Terminator. 1 each. And because you've got a flag, you control that objective. So at the end of my turn 4, I get 2 points for being on these 2 objectives.
Yeah.
So as we go on to turn 5, it's 9 points to 13 in favour of the Grey Knights. They're winning by 4 points. But all they have left is those 2 models in the middle. The Librarian over there and the Champion down here. And while they are winning by 4 points, each of these objectives will be worth D3 points at the very end of the battle. So let's find out what Grey Knights do in turn 5. So while the battle below the statue continues and while the Champion locks down this objective over here, the Librarian teleports through the warp onto this objective, making sure that the Grey Knights score as many as they can, making sure that the Grey Knights control as much of this battlefield that they can. And then the Librarian miscast Vortex of Doom. He rolled a 1. And he took 2 mortal wounds. He's on 3 wounds remaining. He's had a bit of a headache. He's been in and out of the warp.
You're not surprised really.
Psychically screaming at lots of things, but he's okay. He's locked down that objective. And that's it. Now we're on to the
combat
fight phase. He doesn't want to charge. You've been told to hold that down. It's Drago versus a Lord of Contagion, and defenders get to fight first. And so I'm going to go swinging with my flail of corruption. And we hit on 3s. And no lethals or sustained or any shenanigans happening there. And no lance this time. So I'm strength 5. Your toughness is down, but you reduce. So it's 4s. 4s to wound you. And that's 3 wounds. 3 invulnerable saves. 2 damage on the Paladin. And a Lord of Contagion revs his Man Reaper. Those are lethal and sustained. And I'm going to CP because I'm that much of a dick. So they're 3 lethal plus the sustained. Wounding on 3s. Drago's got to die, man. It would be 2s, but 3s, damn it. Okay, 5 invulnerable saves. Okay?
Yeah.
4s coming up. Right, we kill the Paladin and put 6 wounds on Drago. How many does he come with?
Oh, crikey.
Please don't say it's 7.
It's 7.
What do you mean it's 7?
7 wounds.
So Drago's still hanging in there on 1 wound remaining?
Yes.
What an absolute Chad. Right, he swings back.
I'm going to spend a CP
Right.
to reroll 1s to wound.
Okay.
Because I feel I need to.
Okay, because you're in your thingy bob thing.
No, it's a strategy.
Okay.
Because I'm...
You're currently not in, because I control that one. That one is now contested.
So yeah, but it's a CP.
Yeah, okay.
It's called Sanctified Kill Zone.
Sanctified Kill Zone. It's called Cut the Head off of the Lord of Contagion. Okay, choose to hit me. Hits every time.
See, why don't I get lethals instead? What's all that about?
3s to wound. Wounds every... Well, that one's... Yeah. wounds all the times. That's 6 wounds.
Yes.
6 invulnerable saves. At this point, I would have liked to kept my CP reroll in the fight phase.
Well, there you go. You wanted to be that dick.
Reroll. Say drop dice don't count. I just can't help being a dick. It just
no,
you know.
No, that's fine. You are death
Keep
guard.
dropping the
I'm
dice.
surprised you're not Eldar. Really, that'd be even more dickish, wouldn't it? Really.
How dare you, sir? If I had a glove, I'd slap you across the face. Right, 4 up invulnerable saves. Kills the other guy. My Lord of Contagion still alive on 3 wounds. So these two continue to battle below the statue. The Grey Knights pick up another 2 points, making it 15 points to 9. They are 6 points in the lead as we go to Death Guard turn 5. Okay, 15 points to 9, Chewie. Yeah. I'm 6 behind, but I'll take this objective with the tank. The Rhino will take that one. Plague Burst Crawler will take that one. And then in the centre, that Lord of Contagion, he needs a hand.
Yeah.
So those guys are piled out of the Rhino.
You can see he's struggling. Know, like, we'll come help you because you're doing really badly against Drago. Oh no, please, no.
That's exactly what's happening there.
And that's how he sounds as well.
They're going to go charging in. I'm not going to pull the trigger here. That Librarian can disappear off into the warp. It doesn't change the shape of the game. And if I mortar the guy in the backfield, it doesn't change the shape of the game. We're just going to get this charge in. We're just going to get the charge into Drago. And help us.
Hang on, I'm going to spend a CP.
What? You were going to spend a CP on Repelling Sphere to make the charge longer, but 3-inch charge I've still got in there anyway. Yeah. So we go in there, we're going to help out Daddy, we're going to help out Polis, a Lord of Contagion. Don't worry, Daddy.
He needs it. Oh, help him. He's struggling. No.
Here's the Power Fist.
Okay.
Here's the heavy plague weapons. And then that one's lethal. These will wound. He's not been led by anyone anymore. No. So 2s. Right, Drago needs to make 5 invulnerable saves, or a heavy plague weapon will take his head off, and he disappears.
Oh, might CP that, eh?
Back to the warp. No. He disappears back to the warp. And that's the end of Death Guard turn 5. Okay, so I get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 15-13. Yeah. Okay, you're 2 points in the lead.
Yes.
There's still a world which you can win or draw, because your objective back there is worth the 3 points that your champion's got. Yeah. In fact, you've got a champion and you've got a librarian left, and that's it. But let's roll a d3. Let's see how many points you get for your home field objective. It's the 3. Okay, so there's 18 points to 13. 1 minute. Is that the thing? You're 15 plus 3 is 18. I've got 4 plus that. Yeah. Okay. So if I get a 1, 1, 1, 1, you win.
Yeah.
Okay, 18 to 13. The first one is worth 2. Okay. And then 2. 18 to 17 to 18 right about now. And then I win by many. 17, it's 22. 22 to 18. 22 to 18 is a victory. This day for the Death Guard, we will defile this place. We will whittle in all the corners. We will use the holy parchment to wipe our bum-bums. And Drago has been sent screaming back to the warp. And I was never scared.
Not screaming.
Screaming.
No.
Back to the warp. Brave Sir Robin ran away again.
He didn't run away. He took on a whole load of Death Guard.
And I wasn't worried. Yes.
Who needed the help there?
Let's...
please help me. I don't know.
Let's cut this and talk. Yes. Chewie.
Yes.
I like Grey Knights. They're one of my favourite factions.
Yeah, they do need a buff.
So but they do need a buff. They do. They've always struggled against tanks and monsters and things like that because they don't have that higher strength thing. No. But there's just something about them. The Silver Boys with all the speed and all that. Yeah. Where are they for you in all of the things? Because you have the Sisters and the Brotherhood of Martyrs. Are they?
From some of the losses I've had, they definitely need. Thematically they're good. I enjoy playing them the way they disappear, come back, and go, oi, like that.
Yeah,
and then, but they do need a buff because
they do need a buff.
Yeah, I've had a lot of losses with them, and in fact, I think all of my Grey Knight battles have been losses, but it doesn't matter. It's
Okay.
fun. But no, but what the thing is, it's not me being salty, it's me having fun with them, but they need more. Especially, I mean, to be honest with you, they gave you a right old bloody nose.
They did. They did.
So they didn't do too badly. So I think still thematically they're good. They just need a bit more strength.
Yes. I think in previous editions they had rerolls to wound or bonuses to wound or things like that with their psychic attacks. They had hammer hands. Do you remember? Sorry, smite.
They do still have hammer hands.
Wound.
But I didn't manage to charge any of my Terminators against anything.
Yeah. They had things that helped them, and but they're just so narrative. They are the SAS of the Space Marine chapters. That was a glorious battle. Every time I fight you, Chewie, I have so much fun.
Likewise.
That was really good fun. Guys, do you think Grey Knights need a buff? And if they do need a buff, what buff would you give Grey Knights if you were buffing the Grey Knights?
Sustained and lethal would be
Sustained and lethal would be... it'd be nice to have sustained, lethal, and lance with pluses to... Yes. Something like that. Something like the Lord of Contagion would be great. But that's broken, so maybe not that. And also, what do you think needs to happen to the Death Guard? Because...
Put in the bin.
Not in the bin. They'd like it in the bin. If you stuck them in the bin, they'd have a great time.
Yeah,
I think the points need to go up for the Grey Knight Death Guard range by about 15 to 20%. 15 to 20. I think they're that broken. But hey, I'm making hay while the sun shines. I'm enjoying them while they're broken. So we do hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.